You're listening to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast.
Go for it, Jim. Climb the ladder, kid. Make yourself famous.
A podcast covering all things WWE.
I have now returned to save the WWE.
NXT.
The beautiful part of NXT is that when one dream ends, another dream begins.
And AEW.
Holy wrestling. I couldn't be more happy.
Here are your hosts, Kyle Gagliardi and Jim Tucker.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast, hosted by the Marks, for the Marks. I am your host, Kyle Gagliardi, and as always, I am joined by my good friend, Jim Tucker, or as I like to call him, and it's been a while, Tucky!
Oh, what's going on, Cal?
2020's here, Tuck. New year, same me.
New year, same us. You know, hopefully we're growing the pod, keep it going into the new year. But
when was our last show?
December 3rd.
13?
Well, we have
reasons.
It was easy on us because pre-taped AEW, all that kind of stuff. But I went out to Nevada for the week around the holidays. Spent my Christmas out there with the family. Beautiful.
Shout out to Mista.
Yeah, I love you. And then came home for about 5 days, and then I was in Nashville for a coach's clinic with baseball, and had a great time down there. And heading down to Indy next week for the state coaches clinic, and hopefully coming back for the Black Label Pro Show on that Saturday.
Ooh, I am 100% out.
Okay.
A friend of mine's coming into town. We're going to spend some time together, but otherwise, I would be there. But an interesting name is supposed to be at that Black Label Pro Show, right, that we just heard on Wednesday night?
Yeah, so I'm, kind of tuning out on NXT the other day, and they mentioned next week that Alex Shelley is going to be in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic.
Teaming up with Kushida.
Yeah, and Alex Shelley's actually going to be in one of the matches in Crown Point here. So
are you going to that for sure?
I'm not. I don't have tickets yet, but I think Mike and I are going to go. Mikey from Mikey and the Degenerates, the Region Degenerates.
On the last episode, right? Wasn't that the last show?
Yeah.
It's been That's how long it's been.
Thank you for that old smoky moonshine, Mikey. Went down and did a little tasting there. Had a Java coffee moonshine, pickles, apple pie, pumpkin pie.
They got it all.
Blue flame that just straight tasted like nail polish.
Punch. I'm telling you, man.
It was a time.
Wait, let me ask you, did you try the butter pecan?
I don't think that was on the tasting.
I hear a lot of good things about it. And I know a lot about Old Smoky because my company actually distributes Old Smoky.
Okay, good. So I'm not across
against
party
the brand.
lines. There we go.
You're supporting the brand right there for sure. So yeah, definitely a good product there. So if you're over the age of 21, go out and buy yourself some Old Smoky.
If you apparently a little insider tip, if you're looking at getting the moonshine pickles, you need to ask how long they've been out, because if they're over a few weeks old, they're going to taste like hockey pucks, according to Connor, our bar tender.
Going to be completely honest, if you live in DeMont, Indiana, those pickles have been out there for more than a couple weeks, so don't buy them. I am the one that stocked those shelves there. So there's a spoiler alert if you live in DeMont, Indiana.
That is not a prediction. That is a spoiler.
Yeah, as the one Paul Heyman would say, who we did see on Monday Night Raw.
We did.
Before we get into this week's wrestling talk, we got to remind everyone that we are proudly a part of the Overtime Sports Network. Tuck, if the people haven't heard already, after 16 episodes, what is OTSN?
The OTSN is the Overtime Sports Network. It's a conglomerate of sports-centered blogs and podcasts covering everything. Basketball, football, baseball, wiffle ball. We've got golf.
Been a minute for wiffle ball content.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're in the off season, so
we are. But I see a lot of content on wiffle Twitter, and it's not coming from at TWalkGBL.
Well, the rumor on the street, the question that people are asking is if T-Walk should be fired as the national team manager. People are asking. There are rumblings, and I plead no comment.
If you literally look to your right, my left, on the OTSN HQ chalkboard, it says fire T-Walk 2020 or not.
Or not. The people want to know, and they're going to wait and find out. But the Overtime Sports Network's awesome. Go to otsportsnetwork.com or head over to Twitter @_OTSN for all your sporting needs. Make sure you're following us at Pod on the Mark as well. And myself
for sure.
@JimTuck89, Too Sweet Kyle, Too Sweet.
There it is.
There we go.
Been a minute since we've done that.
Yeah.
I think we need a Tucky takeover coming up. I know
Yeah.
you're a busy man. Not watching most shows live, correct?
Right. I did watch both last night live. Next week, Monday and Wednesday, are both fried. I've volunteered to take over softball workouts until we find a head coach. So,
Oh, you need a head coach.
softball head coach. Do you know how to?
I don't know anything about softball. Maybe Ralph Gagliardi knows
Yeah.
some.
Ooh, we'll
Get
call
Ralph
him.
back at the coach's team. He won back-to-back Little League, Major League championships.
Come
So
on now. Come on now.
Some people are comparing him to one of the greats. You know?
Hashtag that's my softball coach. But yeah, like Monday, I'm going to be out in Cows from 4:30 to 8:30 running back-to-back practices. And
Well, you'll miss
Wednesday
another
to Sunday.
Buddy Murphy and Aleister Black match because that apparently is still going on.
there we go.
I mean, you can't say you hate it though.
No,
they're having good.
No.
We might as well just touch on that while we're here. I mean, they've been having these matches. Aleister Black's won the last two, but on Monday Night Raw, we saw Buddy Murphy kind of show a little heelish side. I don't know if that's maybe him
Yeah.
turning, or is that just him with the rivalry and just how he's reacting.
I think it's just them. He's becoming heelish between the two of them. That's kind of my guess. But you have seen worse on Raw and SmackDown, other than an Andrade and Buddy Murphy match. So
Yeah, that's for sure. So that's some of the highlights here. But if we're going back to last SmackDown, you get a chance to watch SmackDown from last Friday?
yep,
On tape, I'm assuming.
yeah,
I actually watched this one live, and I was surprised on all the things that actually happened. We had some returns. We had some heel turns.
Mm-hmm.
We had a lot going on. Sheamus returned, and, we thought he was going to go out there and save Shorty G from the Revival because he had a singles match with Dash Wilder. But Sheamus hits the bro kick on Shorty G. What direction we going here with the Sheamus return?
I hope that's it with the Shorty G thing.
Yeah.
I don't know, because with his vignettes and stuff, I was actually getting a little excited to see him back, and good pop. Here he is, and then that.
Where else does he fit right on the card? Because Shinsuke's with kind of Braun Strowman with that feud, and the Fiend's with Daniel Bryan. Where else can you really throw Sheamus on that card? And
Yeah.
SmackDown, that is.
That's true. Yeah,
But, the Shorty G feud wouldn't be thrilling. It's probably just like a little stop in the road for Sheamus. But it's good to see him back because he's one of those consistent performers that can go out there, put on a good show.
yep.
So, good for SmackDown, a good get there. He's back. He's not the only one that's back, though, and we're going to touch on that in a little bit. We had The Miz. He had a backstage segment with The New Day. Mm-hmm. We started to see The Miz get a little angry.
Yeah, which for me is well received. In my tenure, I don't know that I've seen him get like that.
Have you not experienced true Miz heel work?
I don't think I have. I don't know.
Yeah, you might not have, because Miz has actually, this is probably the longest he's ever been a babyface, but most of his career he's been a great heel.
Yeah. Some would say that he's that pretty boy face, kind of like MJF, and MJF's getting a lot of praise for his heel work, but Miz has been doing it for how long? So
decade.
Yeah.
And he's so good at it too. So it's nice that we were getting hints of that backstage, and then we actually get into the match itself, and then he finally snaps after his match with Kofi. Mm-hmm. So I think we could say it's safe to say the Miz is heel because he was on the ramp. He's like, I did everything for you fans. I gave you everything I got. And there it is.
He's turning on them. He's turning his back on them. See him.
Do you see the pattern here, though? Why would the Miz be turning now?
Well, as we have in our show notes, is it the Fiend?
It's got to be,
right.
Look at the past matches that the Fiend's had. Seth Rollins going to the dark side
Baddie.
with AOP.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Bryan, he snapped for a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah, now the Miz going back to his old ways. It's like everything the Fiend touches, it's changing their attitude,
which is a little bit more psychological than I think we get on a week-to-week basis.
True.
That now we're adding this layer. You could still kill the red light for me, but
yeah, that's still there.
But it is cool. Like, not only is here's the opponent for the Fiend, but regardless of outcome, can they withstand the effect that the Fiend will have on them? It's interesting.
Yeah, it's like a mental war going on up there, and that's what the Fiend's going to do to you. So it's a deep character development there for sure. So the Miz is a heel, and then we cut to the backstage, and guess who's hanging out with the Miz in his locker room?
Is it John Morrison?
His old pal, John Morrison. I know you don't know much about him.
I don't.
Because I believe he left the company in 2012. Correct me if I'm wrong on Twitter. And that's really when I first started watching.
Right.
So I only know a little bit about John Morrison. He's been Johnny Impact, Johnny Mundo. I'll tell you this. Good wrestler.
He looks good.
Have you seen any of his matches?
No.
No? Okay. Well, I can't really think of one off the top of my head. Like I said, I only saw probably a year of his prime work in WWE, but I believe in Lucha Underground is where he really shined. So if you can find something on YouTube, I'm sure there's something there. But that's his first official appearance on WWE TV after his signing. So I'm sitting here, I'm like, are we really trying to rekindle this Morrison-Miz thing? I might have just liked Morrison to do his own thing, you know?
Yeah, especially with the return, you know. The return offers the option to refresh and repackage and
going back to the old ways.
Yeah, so
and why do it there? Why not just save him for the Rumble?
Right, it could. I wish I had an answer.
It's just that's typical
point,
WWE.
sir.
They're very impatient. And they're like, well, we signed this guy. Everybody knows about him. We talked about it on WWE Backstage.
Here he is.
Oh, he's
Look
behind this door.
Whoa.
That's
Yeah,
it. And
that's true.
Like, that's because the Royal Rumble is all about the returns, the surprise entries, the
It's
pops.
the perfect place for pops. Yes.
And there's one right there that you wasted. Because, I mean, obviously he's probably still going to get a good reaction. Like people like John Morrison. But you could have saved him, especially after we saw Sheamus earlier in the night.
Right. That's good.
And then guess who we saw at the end of the show? Uso Penitentiary's back after 7 months, they said. I heard on After the Bell.
Right, yep. Mm-hmm.
Did you listen to After the Bell?
I did.
I tell you what, I hate giving the higher-ups the rub, but I really enjoy Corey Graves and After the Bell.
And I do think he pushes a little bit. You know, he has criticisms. He talks about why do we see the same match 4 weeks in a row? Why are we repackaging this? He does have fair criticisms, and I do feel like that a lot of points that he makes are agreeable.
And he even referenced Chris Jericho today.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, Jericho, I know you listen to this show. Mm-hmm. He said the word Christopher Daniels, who we know is a part of AEW. So they literally said AEW on that podcast too, him and Renee.
Yep.
Which, by the way, him and Renee both liked my tweet when I said that those two should have a podcast. So are they looking for a producer? Once again, people are asking.
They are. Well, we'll have to tweet at them. Hello, guys.
Yeah. Just keep going. But
it's me again.
Yeah, for sure. They returned to help out their bloodline, Roman Reigns, after that tag team main event. Good to see them back because, in my personal opinion, I think this is the best tag team in the world. And I know that might be a controversial statement with the Lucha Bros and the Young Bucks, but the Usos, to me, are the model of consistency. So.
Yeah, and you know they were pretty open about being human, you know, making mistakes and having to deal with it. I'm glad that they didn't put the WWE shine on it, that they were just giving them time off, you know, and
everybody needs that.
They got the new haircuts, so
I mean, we took our time off, so did the Usos.
You know,
ours just wasn't.
It's basically the same thing. Yeah,
we virtually are the Usos, the podcast.
Usos.
But after this, though, that was a cool way to close off SmackDown, which we saw two returns in the Miz heel turn and the debut of John Morrison, or I should say re-debut. And I'm like, maybe this is something of a faction?
I'm hoping.
Like a bloodline?
Yeah. I like the name, the Bloodline. I don't know if that would actually be their name, the Brotherhood. Or
Brotherhood was used by Cody and Dustin, so no.
The Bloodline could be a cool T-shirt. You need, you know... It kind of is a credible type of faction that could square up against Seth Rollins and the AOP. They're on separate shows, though, aren't they?
They are, but I mean,
they're not afraid to. They're not afraid, you know.
Especially if you have like one of those organic Rumble spots where they're all in the ring together. Mm-hmm. The AOP could be in the ring with Rollins, and then you got the Bloodline.
You got Brock Lesnar right in the middle of them.
Yeah, you got that too. But did you see do you follow the WWE on Instagram?
I don't think I do on Instagram.
They posted a picture with the Usos, Tamina Snuka, who also is a part of the family, and Roman Reigns.
Uh-huh.
And they said the bloodline looking strong.
Ooh.
So if you throw Tamina in there, I mean, it's nice to have a female representative, I believe, because it gives you more credibility in other divisions. But, hey, Usos are back. Don't know if they're going to feud with the New Day because they're kind of both baby faces.
Right.
So maybe they're just kind of going to be with Roman for now, which I'm cool with.
Yeah, you got a singles guy, you got a tag team, you got a woman. If Tamina sticks around in that, the bloodline still works with the name.
Yeah,
so.
I'm here for it. So
yeah.
WWE, if you want to pull the trigger with the bloodline, we support you here.
Give me one of them 40% off T-shirt gigs. I'm in.
They'll probably run that on Monday. They run one of those things every Monday.
Oh,
Buy one, get one for $1.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But you're gonna have to spend the full price on the bloodline because it's brand new.
Oh yeah.
So speaking of Brock Lesnar, Monday Night Raw, we found out that he will enter the Royal Rumble at the number 1 spot. He's not defending his championship in this match. What are your thoughts on this booking decision, and what do you think all of this means? What's going to happen at the Rumble with Brock entering at number 1? Yeah, I was gonna say, take a minute because this is a lot.
I'm glad that they did something different. You know Brock wants to conquer and dominate this realm instead of a lot of people sought him. Seth wanted him. A lot of people wanted him, and it was almost like he was giving title to defending his title to people that were coming to him, and now it's like he's becoming the predator type.
I like that spin on it. I didn't even think about that. So
yeah, so I don't know how it's going to work, but
who's number 2?
I have no idea. It's way too early.
I mean, I'm just throwing it out there. It's time to start thinking about it. It's Rumble season. We're on the road to the Royal Rumble.
It is. Yeah, it is Rumble. We're not that far away.
Is this your first Rumble then, technically?
Third.
Oh, third.
No.
Second. Yeah, that sounds about right.
I did it was 2, so I've seen 2 WrestleManias. The WrestleMania was the first show I dug into. That was my first that was my free trial.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I did see last year, so.
We're going to do a Royal Rumble drawing, aren't we?
I say do a drawing / draft, like a spot draft.
Get the listeners involved if they want to be a part of it.
Come on now.
Throw some money down.
Yeah, winner,
$1 per entry.
Yeah, we could do something like that. Yeah.
Winner take all.
Anybody that wants to hop in, we can kind of randomly split up the numbers or something like that.
We can go live, do the drawings.
Yeah, something. We can mix it up.
At Pod on the Mark. If you're interested in us, shoot us a tweet if you would like to be a part of the Royal Rumble drawing. But Brock Lesnar number 1, yes or no? Do you approve?
I do, because it's different.
Okay.
Different style of booking. I don't necessarily think that means he wins.
I don't.
Which
I
is
think the only
fun
reason,
for me.
Yeah. I think the only reason they are doing this because who are you going to have him face at the Royal Rumble? Drew McIntyre,
and you can't.
He's not ready yet.
They're not in a spot to build. You shouldn't be a 2-week build or a 3-week build. It should.
You just can't feed a guy to Brock Lesnar right now.
Right.
And that's basically what you're doing. You're killing somebody's momentum. You can't throw Aleister Black out there because all that stuff you're doing with Buddy Murphy, it's dead.
Right.
Drew McIntyre seems to be organically turning into a babyface.
Mm-hmm.
Wait until he's full babyface, and then maybe pull the trigger. So by putting him number 1 in the Royal Rumble, you're also giving him an opportunity to set up that match for WrestleMania. The person that eliminates Brock Lesnar is probably going to face Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania because that's going to piss off Heyman, that's going to piss off Brock, and he's going to want revenge. That is how you're able to set up Brock Lesnar's WrestleMania opponent.
Yeah, I've also heard mention of unifying the 2 titles at the top into one.
That.
I'm okay with 2 of them.
Do you really want a Fiend Brock Lesnar match though at WrestleMania?
No.
Like, who do you? Obviously, we root for the Fiend, but like, who wins and why?
Right.
Who deserves to be that?
Yeah. Give me someone like Ricochet. I like the littles going up against Brock.
Good chemistry there.
I think that's his best work. So I don't know.
Number 2, since I asked you, I think it's got to be a guy that has history of Brock Lesnar. I think a safe bet would be maybe a Roman Reigns.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they've main evented WrestleManias before, so why not? And that way you're not just throwing number 2 out there and it's R-Truth who's going to get eliminated right away.
Right.
Because then you just have Brock sitting there and waiting. You're going to have somebody that's somewhat credible. But, we'll see. I'm assuming Brock's going to last to the end.
He's got to be.
Final 4?
Yeah, he's got to. But, it's like, how do you build him? Do you give him those rollout spots and make him look like a coward? Is he a monster the whole time?
People gang up on him,
right? So it's like there's options,
which is good.
and terrifying.
Because Brock Lesnar or a Royal Rumble match, that just doesn't happen.
Right. He's never needed it or
You
had it, right?
Yeah, you can go so many different directions with this. So I personally love this idea. I think putting him one is smart. And I also think now you have Brock run the whole Rumble. Number 30, hopefully it's a surprise. Hopefully it's a guy like Edge. Maybe a CM Punk. Maybe a CM Punk. Because that story with him and Lesnar writes itself. Both Paul Heyman guys. They both had matches in the past. God, that's a main event.
Tasty. That's a tasty boy.
That's a main event. What else would main event over CM Punk and Brock Lesnar?
The Fiend versus... I don't know.
The only other thing I would think of is like Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch. But we've already done that. Like, they had their main event. They don't need another one.
Right.
So... It's interesting, though. I like the idea of Brock going there at number 1. So do you. So, good way to kick off Monday Night Raw.
I was in.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Because you start off the show with that. You're like, okay, we got something here. And then we get a United States Championship match between Rey Mysterio, who lost his title to Andrade at Madison Square Garden at a house show.
Yeah.
Once again, these guys killed it.
They have. Again, it's one of those ones that you've seen it a couple times, but they're always interesting. They're always good matches. Ray is still pulling off great moves.
Oh yeah,
great to watch. Every time he goes out of the ring,
something new too.
How is he going to attach himself to this guy and flip it around? And I enjoy him.
The wrinkle with Zelina Vega too, kind of accidentally knocking her over. Is a good way to have Andrade retain and continue this story. Yep. And afterwards, we see Andrade hit his finisher, get the win, but he takes the mask afterwards. So now I'm like, maybe we're getting a mask versus hair match at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
it's something, but I don't want to see the end of this feud.
Yeah, I'm good with it. I think he ended up ultimately getting the mask back right that night.
Did he?
Yeah, because he ran in on him from behind.
Okay, maybe
knocked him out.
I don't remember that.
He did. He ended up getting the mask back because they were doing a promo with like Charlie or someone, and then out from behind the camera, boom. So you never got to see his face, even though everyone knows what he looks like.
We know what Ray looks like. Yeah,
I had an unmasked Rey Mysterio figure when I was a kid.
They had that?
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of figures, I just got a... it was on sale, and of course I got to add to my figure collection. I got a Chris Jericho from 2012, his WrestleMania gear. He wore... who did he face? Jeez, I think it was against CM Punk, to be honest.
Look out on Twitter for a giveaway for a Christian. I'm just joking.
I'm waiting for AEW to come out with
something.
Like, just give me some figures.
Yeah.
Give me a Marco Stunt.
I'm ready for toys. Yeah.
We're grown men. We want toys.
Give us our toys. Yeah. The shirts, I only have so much dresser space. But.
Did you get your January box from Wrestling Crate?
No, I got my December one. That was Bigs and Littles, and this month's theme is Canada. So,
maybe a little Lance Storm, the Night
Kevin
Hearts.
Owens, Edge, Jericho, a lot of good names. So I should be getting that probably within the next week or so.
And then you'll put that on the OTSN YouTube channel.
It will. It'll go up on the
OTSportsNetwork.com.
Yes, OTSN on the Overtime Sports Network on YouTube. It'll be up there.
And then the last thing I wanted to touch on from Monday Night Raw is that we had this mystery partner component for the main event. It was Kevin Owens, Samoa Joe versus AOP and Seth Rollins. First, I thought it was Aleister Black. Then we're like, oh, he has a match. Now I'm like, well, who else can it be?
Right.
Where? What was your reaction when you heard, it's the Big Show?
I was, okay, right? I'm like, I couldn't have pulled that out of thin air, so.
Good for Show for coming back. I mean, he's an older man. I mean, there's no way he's in the shape that he used to be. But here we go. Time to vent. How old? I don't know how old he is. I just know he's not deserving of going over right now with AOP and Rollins being so fresh. The star of this main event was the Big Show.
Yeah, he's 47.
This is not 1998. All right? Why are we closing Monday Night Raw in 2020? The first Raw of 2020 is ending with the Big Show going over AOP and Seth Rollins.
Yep.
Not a good look.
Yeah. Now overall, I was grade the show fair.
I thought Raw was good. I thought SmackDown was good too.
Yeah, I think they're picking it up in the new year, but that is an interesting point with the Big Show and all that. So.
What do you think about this Kevin Owens, Samoa Joe being babyface? Because we know now Joe went from the commentary team, and he kind of naturally turned babyface.
Yeah, I'm cool with it. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. So it's they've got this kind of natural alliance where, you know, they might not be best friends, but they're going to look out for each other because they have a common goal or something. So
I'll tell you, that new Joe shirt, that's fire. Did you notice it?
No, I got
It said night on
Oh,
it.
yeah, that one is sweet. Yeah.
I'm like, all right. it takes a lot for me to be like, ooh, I like that shirt. When I saw Joe's shirt.
Jimmy hasn't spent money on a T-shirt in a while.
Well, don't you get the wrestling crates?
I know. I got 2 more coming, yeah.
I don't know if this is not breaking news, but I just randomly went to Twitter. Liv Morgan tweeted, ha, 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 ha. What do you think of that Rusev, Lana, Liv Morgan wedding?
Fuck, man.
Well, an F-bomb from Tucky.
Oh, man. I'm tired of it. Well, you know, and the Liv Morgan thing.
That came out of left field.
Gosh, darn it. I'm frustrated with it.
I thought we were here, I think it was a couple episodes ago, thinking about Liv being Sister Abigail. No, she has a
Sister
lesbian
Lana
relationship with Lana.
Yep.
Which, that's fine.
No,
But
I don't care if they are in a lesbian relationship with each other. I don't care about that.
I mean, it's storyline anyway. It's not real.
Right.
Guys.
But I thought they did a good job kind of building her up and,
Yeah.
you
Those
know.
vignettes.
But,
She's looking good.
yeah.
I can say that. You can't. Well, you might be able to say it, and she's not listening.
She looks like a talented wrestler, you know. She looks like a great sports entertainer. And
she kept tweeting, like, are you watching me? Yeah, Liv. We're watching you.
Yeah.
And you show up at the wedding, and, well, here we are. So, hey, like I said, though, what did I tell you from the very start of this?
I don't know.
Rusev will get over big time.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, of course.
He's over huge right now.
No doubt.
Maybe a Final Four Rumble guy, Rusev?
Wouldn't hate it.
And
What are you going to do with him?
You know him and Bobby are going to get into it at the... Oh, Jesus Christ. It's just going to go on and on. We're going to never hear the end of this storyline.
You know who's going to win the Royal Rumble, right?
Who?
Otis.
Otis was... The Otis Mandy Rose stuff is... How are you loving that?
Well, you know, poor guy gets Mandy Rose, not just any kind of cake, a fruit cake. So looking out for her, you know.
Never had a fruitcake.
They don't get a great rap.
Some have called me a fruitcake.
That's different. That's a different thing, right?
Okay,
not the
that's
same
not a
thing.
compliment.
They're not saying like you're a delicious homemade dessert from Otis's mother.
I am a snack, though.
Yeah, you confirmed. Yes, but you know, poor guy.
You know, how could Dolph just stomp on that with his Jordans? Like, come on, those were nice shoes, and Dolph just stomped on it.
And now that I'm getting older, I'm like, somebody's got to clean that up. Poor guy.
Imagine being that guy. Well, what do you do? I just clean up messes in the back for WWE.
No, they've got a
segments.
fancy name for it, like director of operations. Yeah, something like that. You know,
WWE maintenance or
right.
something.
That's like you're not just a dude that stocks T-shirts on the shelf. You're a sales associate. You know?
Sometimes you got to take a bump.
Yeah,
You're going to be a jobber or whatnot.
yeah. I do think they're making Otis look like dumb, like almost like learning disability dumb. Like he struggles to have conversations at times, and he's, you know, I like him being this over the top kind of big boy who's going to go in and stomp it. But I do think sometimes I'm not so pulled towards the belly anymore.
I think it's more of like a caveman type thing.
Yeah.
Like, you know, he
Right.
kind
Like
of expresses himself in other ways, and
Yeah.
just like putting together sentences and being able to articulate one is just not his strength.
yeah.
Could be like a learning disability kind of thing too, but
I'm not, and again, we're not calling him any kind of names or anything, but it seems like he has this. They're kind of playing dumb on him,
Yeah,
a little
no, I
bit
get
more. But well, I still love him.
yeah, I think, and like the Miz said on backstage, he's like, that's some of the best stuff on TV right now.
Yeah,
And it's just backstage stuff. And when he gets in the ring, the crowd reacts and
yeah.
everybody's happy. So Otis is definitely doing his job, but Anything else to touch on for the main roster? It's been a couple weeks, so if you have any thoughts, let them out now. We touched on the wedding, which I didn't think we would. We got there.
Yeah, I think I'm
good.
I think I'm pretty flush. Eric Rowan, thoughts?
Fuck him.
Okay, all right. And that's Eric Rowan talk.
I don't care what's in the cage.
No.
I don't.
The way those videos where it's just his face talking to it, whoever set the camera up inside the cage knows what it is. You know, and what could it possibly be that that somebody looks up? Who did he show? He showed it to somebody.
Mojo Rawley,
yeah.
who Steve from A Work in Progress is a huge fan of.
Yeah, poor guy. Because
so is Vogus, though.
What is in that cage that just? What could it be?
I'm telling you, I don't care. I don't care.
I've got a quick side story.
Oh, here we go. Rat
and I, every year, we go to Niles Scream Park in Niles, Michigan for the Scream Fest. It's 5 haunted houses. This year, you pay an extra $2, we'll let you go in the museum. Okay? And the museum is literally smaller than your kitchen.
This sounds like a fun house kind of thing.
It's stupid. So we pay $2. If you pay $1 extra, they'll let you see the thing.
Uh-huh. I think it sounds like a fair.
They will. It's exactly Carney-ish.
Okay.
They'll unveil the thing, and what it is, it's this like plastic, dumb-looking creature thing floating in a pickle jar.
So that's virtually what Eric Rowan probably has underneath the cage.
I'm
telling you, I don't care. I tweeted out like 2 weeks ago. I'm over the Eric Rowan shtick. They've tried many things with him over the years. Nothing is working for me. You let go of the wrong ex-Wyatt family member. I would have rather have Luke Harper here instead of Eric Rowan because I just don't see it with Eric Rowan. I
would agree with that too, yeah.
But hey, let's go on to more positive things. Wednesday Night Wrestling. First off, we want to put out there that the scoreboard wasn't tweeted out because both weeks we are not going to count because 1 week AEW didn't run a show and the next week NXT just did awards.
Right.
So those are void. We're not counting them, correct?
Yeah, right. We're concerned about the weeks that they go head to head,
which they did when we were supposed to record episode 16 in December.
Right.
That was when Rhea Ripley won the women's title. I'm assuming you were going to give the nod to NXT.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So Rhea Ripley and then Johnny Gargano's return, which distracted Finn. That all happened on that one. So 7-5, right?
Yep.
7-5. NXT in the lead right now with the OTM scoreboard. So let's talk NXT. The new NXT Women's Champion, Rhea Ripley, would kick off the show, but she'd be quickly interrupted by Toni Storm and then multiple other female competitors, and that virtually would just set up this 6-woman tag match to kick off NXT this week. Toni Storm and Rhea Ripley, by the way, that is confirmed for Worlds Collide, which seems like they're really trying to promote the hell out of that.
Yeah, now I want to watch a little bit more. Yeah, I threw Worlds Collide into that like Super Showdown, Greatest Royal Rumble, Saudi show kind of thing where like you don't expect anything to happen. And I don't know what will, but with the Andrade title change at a live event, it makes me think that some of these offshoots might be more prone to title changes now.
I mean, not just Andrade at a house show, the Fiend at Crown Jewel.
Right. Yep.
Like, nobody really expects title changes at that because that's just a big house show.
Right.
So maybe they want people, hey, tune in to Worlds Collide because there's a chance Toni Storm could become Tony Two Belts because she faces Kaylee Ray Sunday.
Yep.
You gonna watch any of that takeover?
I don't. No, I'm definitely not going to see it live. I've got lessons all day, so
I tell you, I'm definitely not going to watch it because the Packers play Sunday.
Oh,
my mind is going to be in 1,000 places at once.
Who are they playing?
Seahawks in Green Bay. I got offered a ticket, upper level, like way up there for $170. I was like, I'd rather just.
That's not that.
We're getting bad weather Saturday though.
Oh yeah, it is going to be kind of a
winter storm.
I think
they're 8 to 12 inches in Green Bay.
We're hoping that it's actually going to clip north of us. I hear we're going to get a lot of rain that might end up freezing, but
turning that slushy crap.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get hit with the nasty.
Not the Lacey Evans,
right? I was going to comment. You beat me, but
nasty. Oh, she's a face now. The last time we talked, she probably was a heel.
Yeah, cool. I'm fine with it.
Yeah, she's got to protect her daughter. Come on,
you got to.
You got to raise the chickens.
You better keep my daughter's name out of your mouth. I tell you what.
I got to go home to all my 8 chickens and my cows and milk them every 5:30 in the morning.
I got to be a good mama.
I do love Lacey. I do, but I don't know if she's going to get that SmackDown Women's Championship quite yet.
No.
So Rhea Ripley, Toni Storm, and Candice LeRae would team up against Bianca Belair, Kaylee Ray, and Io Shirai. All 6 women were really able to showcase, their talents in this one. Nothing stood out for me personally, but I thought it was a solid way to open up NXT. Rhea Ripley gets the win. She stays hot. That's my take on that. What about you?
Yeah, I utter the same sentiments. I think one thing NXT does so well is in these multi-person matches, they do a really good job of finding ways for everyone or most people or the ones that they want to shine. I think sometimes on the main roster we see these multi-man matches and we come away with a lot of nothing in no particular spots where this X guy or this guy shines. And although it was not a match to write home about. It was
nothing great.
It was very solid, and it does show each of them in their own little light as we're building and moving forward. And NXT, I think, does a great job at that, from takeovers, multi-mans, things like that. I can't think of a bad one.
No, I think NXT also does a great job with their women's division. I mean, this is a great way to showcase 6 of your best talents that you have right here. Mm-hmm. And everybody, like I said, they got their spot. So good way to start off NXT here for us.
And they're all different. All those ladies are different. You've got the bright neon Candice LeRae. You got the baddie Bianca Belair, kind of, hoodish, kind of.
Yeah.
Io Shirai, Toni Storm,
Warrior
Ripley.
Of the Sky.
Yeah, you've got all these different personalities, too.
That is true.
And they don't come up and... at the main roster, you see a lot of they have their all different gimmicks,
and
but
certain people are outshining other people.
Yeah,
like Charlotte and Sasha and Bayley, but here they all seem like equals.
Yeah, it's the strength. It's yeah.
So that's definitely a good thing about NXT. Dusty Rhodes Classic though would kick off with Imperium versus the Forgotten Sons. I really liked what I saw from Imperium here, and we didn't even see Walter in this one. They look strong. They proved they don't need Walter to look credible, not even a distraction. There wasn't even Alexander Wolf there, who I believe is still a part of Imperium. I haven't seen him. Maybe he's hurt or something.
Yeah.
But overall, I thought this was very good, especially for Imperium. And I think them getting the win, it proves that this could be a very formidable stable going forward in NXT.
I agree, and I got more out of it thinking that it was going to be a straight squash match because the Forgotten Sons are hardly memorable. Jesus, memorable. So,
memorable's a word, isn't it?
Memorable. No, I'm going to get yelled at. Wrong.
Thanks, Teach.
So, I not knowing Imperium too well, cool.
Yeah, neither of us know a lot about them because we don't watch NXT UK, but they've shown up on a few, I believe, one Raw, one SmackDown. We got to see Walter have a match. They were at Survivor Series. They were in the pre-show, I believe. And now getting a win over the Forgotten Sons. I know the Forgotten Sons really haven't done anything in NXT, but Forgotten Sons were in the finals last year.
People forget.
They were in the finals last year. Against, do you remember?
Street Profits?
No. I think they beat the Street Profits. It was Aleister Black and Ricochet. Remember when they were a tag team?
Oh, yeah.
They had a tag team match.
And they ran up, yeah.
Mm-hmm, yeah, so Imperium getting the first win, the Dusty Rhodes Classic, and it was a very, very good match for sure. Which then would lead us to the Mr. All-Day Austin Theory versus the returning Joaquin Wilde, formerly known as DJ Z from Impact Wrestling.
Oh, okay.
Believe it or not, I used to watch Impact when he was there.
I believe it.
Yeah, so there was a 3-month span. I think you can find 1 or 2 Impact reviews on my old YouTube channel. Don't go digging for that. It's probably terrible. But this match itself, kind of short, a little bit of competitive. Basically just a squash. I think this was needed because Austin Theory had a really good match on Christmas against Roderick Strong. Did you catch that one?
I did, yeah. I was interested to see how they were going to bill him after it, and this kind of makes the most sense. If you put him in another competitive match, competitive loss thing, he kind of
Damian Priest or something
starts losing steam. Build him up because he's got to build steam to get up to that where that number 1 contender match was, and that's not even for the biggest title on there. Like, there's so many good stars in NXT. It's like can't miss.
Right, like Dominik Dijakovic, Keith Lee, Damian Priest.
I like Damian Priest too.
Killian Dane,
Finn Balor, Adam Cole,
Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, who had multiple promos during the show.
Velveteen Dream.
Yeah, holy shit, I forgot about Velveteen Dream.
Right there, and then you have on the tag team side, you've got Undisputed Era, you've got Imperium.
Got the Forgotten Sons.
You do have Forgotten Sons. Cameron Grimes is not a joke.
That's his first loss, I believe.
Yeah, so like.
Oh wait, no, he lost to Raul Mendoza.
Yikes!
Remember that?
Oh yeah,
because of Kushida's distraction.
Leo Rush,
yeah, I forgot about Leo too, man. Shit.
And here's the thing, NXT, which is something that I think they do much better than AEW. They cycle their talent.
They do.
They don't beat you over the head with the same guys. Who's Kenny Omega going to fight next week? I think AEW is becoming very predictable, and we'll talk about that when we get there. But
we will.
The more and more I watch NXT, it's like that is of the 4 shows, that is the one I want to see. I make time to see. I can cut around and jump around on AEW or the main roster show, but I try to watch 100%
introducing
of each.
new talent all the time.
Yeah,
and Austin Theory and Joaquin Wilde are new talent, and I think you might agree with me here. I think Austin Theory, he has the it factor. This isn't a hot take or anything. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there. He's a former Evolve champion. We know they're in working relationship with the WWE,
right,
especially NXT. So they saw something with Austin Theory. I think that was a great get. I mean, he kind of reminds me, and I think it's probably just the looks of Finn Balor.
Yeah.
He's got, that like a handsome look, the shredded look.
Yeah.
But I think he could be a star in NXT. I really do.
I do too. And it's a different type of it when you compare it to a Keith Lee. Like Keith Lee, you're blown away by the athleticism. Austin Theory, you want to be in his circle. Like right. You want to be friends. I'd love to be friends with Keith Lee too, but
yeah, me too.
It is different. And Keith Lee's, one of the hottest stars in the company.
Man, name a hotter guy right now, like in WWE, I should say, because there's probably some in other companies,
but they're putting the rocket on him. But if Austin Theory were to ascend, you wouldn't be surprised, and you probably wouldn't hate it.
I would not, and I think it could be a fast ascension too.
Yeah.
I really think Austin Theory is that good. But
ascension?
R.I.P. to them. Yeah. I think they actually are showing up at a show this week, and I saw a tweet.
Sweet.
I was like, yeah, I won't be there.
Cool.
So,
yeah.
Sorry. Dusty Rhodes Classic continued with the NXT champions, the Undisputed Era, Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly going up against the NXT UK Tag Team Champions. Gallus, don't know much about them.
Same.
Is that the Coffee Brothers? Is that technically what they are, I think?
No idea.
I think that is. That just shows you how much we know about the UK. But for me, personally, this match never took off.
Yeah. I took more away from the Imperium match than I did with this.
Correct.
Because the Undisputed Era has this thing where you expect them to steal a show when they come out, and they cleaned house at the end of your awards, and I like the tag team of Fish and O'Reilly. I like them, but yeah, it happened.
Yeah, and if Gallus would have got the win here, I mean, where do you go with the Undisputed Era after that?
Right.
There's just no way they were going to win this match. It makes more sense for the main NXT brand to get the win here over UK, which is, once again, I feel like these matchups are also starting to promote Worlds Collide, because you got UK versus NXT, and 205 Live, I believe, is going to be a part of that too.
Yeah, okay.
So, I mean, that's another way to build it, but nothing too spectacular. Actually, nothing really great here. It's just kind of hard-hitting tag team wrestling. NXT Tag Champs advance, which would lead us to the returning promo of Johnny Gargano would address the NXT universe. I noticed some boos. Did you?
The crowd wasn't as on fire as you'd think, but part of that is the Finn Balor on the other side, and you're tearing people now. You're pulling people apart because you're finding people and that's good for wrestling.
It is, but does Johnny Gargano really deserve boos?
Oh no.
He's getting revenge after what Finn did to him.
Right.
And that's how he costed Finn in that NXT Championship match. But Johnny basically would just refer to how when Finn got the call to go to the main roster, there was no hesitation on his part. When Johnny got the call last August, he said, I want to stay in NXT. I thought it was a nice little wrinkle in the story there.
Yeah, I do too. And then Finn Balor would come out and speak his piece, and
not much to say.
Little bit of foreshadowing, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, he said, I would be ready for a match at NXT TakeOver Portland, which I believe is February 19th. Don't quote me.
It's like the only pay-per-view that month, right?
Yeah. So it's kind of cool that NXT is getting its own weekend there.
Right.
Could be a really good takeover in that sense. You got to think, because AEW is running theirs the 29th.
Yep.
So, yeah, NXT, that's your chance to shine right there in Portland. But this match seems inevitable. Finn was basically saying you'll get that match unless you don't make it to Portland. Right.
And leaves the intrigue. The gun has been put on the fireplace, which is a literary device, if you
I remember that reference you used it before.
So here we go. We'll see.
And literally the guns when Finn.
Ooh,
I love when Finn does that.
Yeah.
It's such a cool way to end a promo. Just stick out your guns.
Boom.
And just Bullet Club it up. Oh, can't say Bullet Club in the WWE. Sorry.
Skirt.
Just the OC. After that, Mia Yim would face Kaden Carter. Short squash match here for Mia Yim. Get her another win. But afterwards is really where the story picks up. Chelsea Green, who we did see on Monday Night Raw a few weeks ago, would lay out Carter alongside Robert Stone, formerly known as Robbie E. of Impact Wrestling.
Okay.
So not only is Chelsea Green re-debuting in NXT, we're finally going to see the Robert Stone brand in NXT. I like the idea of there actually being a manager. There's no other managers in NXT.
Right, yeah. And it is a way to get her back down to NXT without making it seem like it's a demotion. And I don't ever think it will be anymore because NXT is not the third brand.
Parallel.
They're right. So, cool. I'm interested to see. I'm not very familiar with the what is it? Robert Stone,
formerly known as Robbie E.
Okay.
He's a very hyper Jersey. He's from Jersey, and he had a weird character in Impact. I like this serious brand. It's kind of like the big baller brand with the Ball family.
That went well,
but hopefully that doesn't go like Triple B. But I like Chelsea Green. She's been in WWE before. Now currently dating Zack Ryder. I believe they're actually engaged. But
congrats.
She's a big talent. And I like how she Robert Stone said she's the hottest free agent. And then she gives you that turnaround with that look. I'm like,
she can work a little bit.
Chelsea Green knows what she's doing.
She can work a little bit.
And once again, adding another female competitor to this stacked women's division.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and Kaden Carter.
She's not a joke, dude. She's not a chump.
There's Xia Li, too.
I like her.
Yeah. It's crazy. We could name Dakota Kai didn't even show up. Tegan Knox is still out there. Oh, Tegan.
Don't forget about Marina Shafir.
All right. And
Jessamine.
You remember their names this time.
Yeah. I still don't know which one's which. Yeah. Jessamine Duke is a tall, lanky one.
There you go.
There we go.
You're starting to get
one for three.
So the main event of NXT was the Fatal 4-Way for the number one contendership for the North American title. Keith Lee, Dominic Dijakovic, Cameron Grimes, and Damian Priest. Tuck, give me your thoughts on this one.
Jesus. It was a good one. It was nice to see. And again, it's not like, I don't know. I think the NXT AEW stuff is cooling down. The war between the two.
It's not a war.
It's not. I don't care about the ratings as much.
I don't either. Even though AEW was up 200,000 this week, they had
really,
they had 947,000.
Wow.
I believe NXT was 739.
Bro,
big gap. That is
a big gap. So,
why though?
I don't know.
What AEW, all they advertised, I believe, for this week was the women's championship. I guess that's big, and Moxley's maybe
decision.
Joining.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. NXT's been the better show. Let's be honest. Here. NXT has been the better show, but yeah,
that main event was popping.
It was just from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
They obviously planned spots, but
right, but it's not one of those spotty fests like AEW. Sometimes I feel is over choreographed, where
like Circus Delay,
right, and that's cool. That's a different style. That's fine, but. NXT weaves action into other action. It all
makes sense.
This fabric, it's like Kevlar, when a problem happens in the ring, especially in these multi-man matches, another part makes it stronger. And
Good way of putting it.
you go into it like, I didn't expect anyone else other than Keith Lee to win, but there were moments where I had thoughts.
Cameron Grimes had spots.
Like, right. He walks out of there with a loss, but, like, he's not a chump. Damian Priest, same.
Ooh,
you
man.
know?
That's the one. I think Damian Priest had his coming out party even more here. I mean, obviously, he's kind of been breaking out a little bit, but seeing what he's able to do, and he's a tall, lengthy dude. He just went clear over the top rope, flipping into everyone on the outside of the ring. I was like, that's impressive. And Dijakovic can do that. Keith Lee can do that. And we obviously know Cameron Grimes can. So put that all together, you get one hell of a main event. I thought it was a great way to end the show. And, of course, the Limitless One gets the win. And in 2 weeks, he will be facing Roderick Strong for the North American Championship. Do you think that title's going to be changing hands?
Nope.
You don't?
I don't. Just because of the Undisputed Era, I always fall back on that. But
Or he doesn't because of Undisputed Era, and then they give him a rematch in Portland, win it. You got to give Keith Lee something now.
Well, and to me, is the North American title like big enough
For the momentum that Keith Lee has right now?
Yeah.
Honestly, in my opinion, no.
That's what I'm saying. But is he at a spot where he could take the strap off of Adam Cole?
No, because that's Tommaso Ciampa's right now.
And then I know, and then he's freaking handcuffed. So put the title. You got to put the title on him, and it brings up it brings that title to another level.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And Roderick Strong is a good champion. He's a credible wrestler. He's doing good stuff.
Great. I like him more with the Undisputed Era. He was forgettable to me outside of it, and he gets his shine in the Undisputed Era.
Oh, no, and you said it. And Keith Lee gets that title, that just takes it to another level because the role that Keith Lee has been on, it's been very impressive, especially at Survivor Series. He got plenty of time to shine there, too.
Holy cow, did he.
One of the best. I mean, that's one of the biggest pay-per-views, and Keith Lee was one of the stars there. So he keeps rising to the top. Speaking of Tommaso Ciampa, we might as well talk about it. He had about 2 promos just basically talking about, I'm not forgetting about you, Adam Cole. Is that the route we're going then, obviously, is Ciampa and Cole?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then, I don't know if he takes it.
I don't think so.
Because eventually, and I know we keep saying this, eventually Undisputed Era has to move to the main roster.
Mm-hmm.
They have to. Like, it's going to get too crowded, and you can't just let Undisputed Era hold every belt forever.
And the main roster could use that. Honestly,
can give me Adam Cole, Daniel Bryan matches. Give me Adam Cole versus The Fiend. Give me all of that. Mm-hmm. Adam Cole versus Roman Reigns. Adam Cole versus Seth Rollins. Adam Cole versus anybody. And the Undisputed Era versus AOP. Undisputed Era versus the Usos.
Yeah.
Come on.
Right. There's plenty.
It's time. And I think eventually and probably after WrestleMania weekend, we might see all 4 of them just move on up. But I don't know if Ciampa's the next champion. I don't.
No, I don't. You still got the Balor Gargano thing too.
Maybe the winner of that feud ends up taking the belt from.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot to think about in NXT, and that's why I like it, because it really isn't that predictable. That's for damn sure. But we're going to move over to the other show that's going on Wednesday nights, AEW Dynamite, to close out episode 16. I don't know why I was about to say episode twice. But Kenny Omega and Hangman Page versus the Private Party kicked off, and we've been seeing over the past couple weeks, Hangman, a little bit of a slow turn going on here. Commentary kept bringing it up. You know, he's got a little alcohol problem. He's chugging beers before matches, after matches. And
give me a hell yeah!
He's kind of spiraling out of control here, Tuck.
Yeah, it makes him. It's interesting to see him now, and when he was the Golden Boy going up against Jericho for the title.
Yeah,
it's
good storytelling.
It is, and it's one of the stronger stories that does have an arc to it.
The Elite and Hangman, the ascension going on there,
right? But
overall, energy and the pace was high in this match, and that's what you expect when you get the Private Party in a match, because they're just super fun to watch, and they're so young. They're like 22 and 24.
Poor guys.
That's why they can afford losses to guys like Hangman and Kenny Omega, because Otherwise, I'd be mad. I'd be like, why are they winning? But I think what really shined here was the continuous storytelling between Omega, Page, and how it looks like Hangman's about to snap. I don't know when it's coming or how he's going to do it, but they did it last week when he was on commentary, and they finished AEW Dynamite with the Elite in the ring, and Hangman's just sitting there on commentary. He's like, I'm good. And he's chugging beers.
Mm-hmm.
It's good stuff. And I know we critiqued AEW for their storytelling, but this is my favorite thing going right now, I think.
Yeah. The other, I don't know. I can't find a more appealing arc.
What'd you think of the match itself?
Fine. Good.
Decision, good. Kenny and Adam getting the win.
Yeah. Every time Private Party's in the ring, I want a gin and juice because I love that flippity-doo cutter thingy.
It's a private party.
Yeah, I get hyped.
Get it started.
We'll be there February 29th. Private Party comes out.
Ooh, maybe we get our gin and juice.
We're going to have
weighing
a
in at
private
4
party.
vodka cranberries.
Woo-wee.
You know what they say or something like that?
Yeah.
It's good stuff. And Private Party will have their time. And then, once again, going back to an old thing that I've said in the past, AEW's tag division is really good. And this match showed that for sure. Which then would lead us to the AEW Women's Championship match. We had Chris Statlander versus Rio. Kind of forgot Rio was the champion because she's been gone for a while. Tuck, where's Rio been?
Why is she the champion?
She's over with the crowd.
I'm not criticizing her being the champion, but like, she hasn't been around, doesn't do it for me, but it does it for plenty.
It does for the crowd.
Yeah.
I don't know if you, whenever her music hits, it's a lot of pop.
It's
probably a top 5 pop every
something
night.
about her, but I don't know who else you'd put it on right now.
And Chris Statlander eventually, I'm sure, could be champion because I actually think she's got decent ability in the ring.
Yeah, I think she can go.
We just need a little bit more deeper character development.
Right.
It's too soon to throw a title on that because, what's her character right now? An alien?
This alien-like thing.
Yeah, and she talks normal, so, if you're
That's
like
weird.
an alien... Because she was having a conversation with Brandy ringside. I don't know if you noticed that.
Uh-huh.
He's, talking, and she has, an accent. I'm like, this is kind of weird. But the match wasn't bad. I also didn't think it was good.
It happened.
It kind of had some weird spots, and the problem is there's just too many things going on, Tuck. You have Kong, you got Mel, and now this guy named Luther who popped out from under the ring.
He is a deathmatch legend from what we've been told, but...
Why... The Nightmare Collective, right? That's what they're called?
Yep.
I don't think it's working.
I am out. Dark Order or Nightmare Collective, pick one.
Dark Order.
Same.
I think the Dark Order's growing on me a little bit.
It's becoming a thing. Yeah. Have you joined the Dark Order on the website yet?
I checked it out.
I
put it in the search.
Did you join it?
I did not join.
Same.
Okay. I'll let the people know if I join the Dark Order, but no. Nightmare Collective, Brandy on commentary. Her work on commentary felt like forced heel work.
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying.
It was not organic. I don't see Brandy and feel like a baddie.
Yeah, I'm not like, oh, she's a bitch.
Shit, right.
She's a genuine, we know the real Brandy Rhodes.
Yeah.
She's trying to act like a bad person leading this group. Kong's cool. I like Kong. I think Awesome Kong could be huge. But
yeah. Well, she is.
All right.
I don't go there very often.
Just thoughts on this as a whole.
Okay.
Miss.
Speaking of the Dark Order, who is the actual first one to join them? The next, notable name to join the Dark Order?
You talking big name? You want me to give you a big name?
Uh-huh. A name that has popped up and appeared.
I'll give you one.
They sprung at Christopher Daniels.
I got one.
Okay.
Shawn Spears.
Ooh.
What's he done?
Right.
What?
That makes sense.
What's the chairman doing? I haven't seen Shawn. I brought this up. What was it, last episode? I was like, Shawn Spears is doing nothing in AEW.
Yeah, he's dead.
The perfect 10 is not perfect no more. I'm sorry. Join the Dark Order. Maybe you'll be.
That's
found.
it. I don't know if you can find a better one, honestly.
That might be a great pick right there. If that happens, shout out to your boy Too Sweet Kyle.
Because he's in that middle
Kip
tier.
Sabian, Joey Janela.
Kip Sabian's got Penelope before.
Yeah, that's
Joey
true.
Janela is too much of a bad boy on his own, apparently.
That's true. Well, Marco Stunt, he'd be a great creepy crawler.
Jesus.
Okay.
His hair coming out of the mask.
Yeah, that might
No
be
thanks.
No, he's great with the
You're not doing with Darby.
Yeah, that's true. Darby Allin has a match next week.
Cool.
I forgot who was against. Jesus
This is
Christ.
Bash at the Beach, right?
Yeah, Bash at the Beach, which they did not get sued for. So that's something, I guess. But Darby Allin, we didn't get to see him this week. He had that match 2 weeks ago with Cody Rhodes. Darby Allin's kind of a star, Tuck.
He's the truth, yeah.
And I don't know if you can throw a belt on him right now because all you have is
No
World Championship in the tag, right? For
Right.
men's. But eventually...
You know what they need?
What's that?
24/7 title.
I thought you were going to say like a mid-card title.
They do an Intercontinental, something like that, a TV title, something like that.
A mid-card singles male title.
Yeah.
And I'm sure MJF has the diamond
The
ring or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, they need something else because a guy like Darby Allin is shining. And
Yep.
you know who guy's not shining right now?
Tell me.
Sammy Guevara.
Same.
Had a match with Christopher Daniels. And let's be honest here, Tuck. Not much to it once again. I feel like we're saying that a lot in Sammy Guevara matches. I see the potential in Sammy.
Yeah.
The Spanish God, the gimmick's there. But what is it to you that you think is just not connecting, at least with us, in Sammy Guevara?
I think for me, it's like the son he doesn't have enough of his own. Like he's not getting enough of his own shine individually because he is part of the inner circle. So the Jericho's like Playboy kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, thoughts?
I don't think I can pinpoint exactly what it is. I just think it's kind of like what you said. They haven't really positioned him well enough to break out. He's just a young guy in this faction with Chris Jericho.
Right.
That's the only thing that stood out. Sure, I mean, he's having matches, but no offense to Christopher Daniels. He's putting his time, he's putting his work, but having a match with him isn't going to put him over. That's not going to put the Spanish God over. And during this match, I found it really weird. We saw Pentagon Jr. come out. He just started talking.
Right.
And it just felt odd. Didn't need to be there. And sure, the match happened, but I just want more from Sammy Guevara. There's potential there.
There is, yeah. And him beating Christopher Daniels, that's
What does that do for him?
even like he needs to beat someone of note. Sammy Guevara, Darby Allin.
I was literally about to say that.
Sammy pops off, gets a W over Darby Allin. That's a
That's
credible.
huge.
That's a credible win.
Afterwards, though, the Dark Order would come out, try to get Christopher Daniels. He would say no, and then that would be the end of that. But like we said, and I'm kind of shamelessly saying it, the Dark Order's growing on me a little bit.
Yeah, we're not officially a Dark Order podcast.
No, we're not in.
No, we've perused the materials.
The door's cracking a little
Yeah.
bit, but I'm not peeking in quite yet, though.
Now, here's the thing: if they're doing this records thing, they should do an RPI with it. Isn't that what college basketball does? Like strength of schedule.
Mhm.
You know, like
I don't hate it.
A dude could be 8-0, but if he's beating 8 nobodies,
Yeah, he's beating the librarian every time.
Right, cool. Let's do. If we're gonna go in, let's go all in.
No, I agree with you 100%. So, yeah, that match happened, but afterwards we would get the Brotherhood, Cody and Dustin Rhodes versus the Lucha Bros.
Bro, and then hold on, I'm on
Yeah.
this thought now. Then you have a panel. You have a college football playoff show before the pay-per-view. A panel selects the top 4 contenders, and they do
Mini tournament.
1 versus 4, 2 versus 3, and then the winners, and that all that night. Like
That's something that WWE should do since they got the Fox deal.
come on now.
That's a Fox
They have a
thing.
selection show and stuff like
Yeah.
that. I probably wouldn't watch. You did that on
Like Booker
backstage
T
or
on
something.
there and everything.
Yeah.
You have that whole panel. CM Punk.
I don't know. That's a
CM
bit.
Punk.
Yep.
I'm just gonna keep saying CM Punk.
Moxley.
Moxley. Jim Tucker. Moxley.
Tucky.
Ryan Bogus. Aaron Oros. Moxley. I love that promo. That's probably the best thing Dynamite's ever done.
Yeah.
So yeah, Cody and Dustin Rhodes versus the Lucha Bros. This match, it lived up to expectations of mine. I thought both teams here, they had great chemistry, and obviously they have it with their partners because they're literally brothers. I mean, that's just, you're going to have that chemistry. So it created a lot of cool moments. Dustin Rhodes seemed to get a lot of the shine once again. It kind of goes back to my Big Show point, though. Older guys getting the rub on these shows. Why? I'm not a big fan of it.
Right.
It's not like Chris Jericho. Yeah, he's an older guy, but Chris Jericho can still go and still reinvent himself.
And he's a star, and he can cut a promo, and yes.
So great match. I enjoyed watching this.
One of the better
How
on the
can you
card.
have a bad match with Cody Rhodes, Dustin Rhodes, and the Lucha Bros?
Right.
It's not possible. But the Brotherhood going over and getting the win, though, that I don't understand, because isn't the Lucha Bros feuding with SCU? Kind of?
Yeah.
I think.
The Lucha Bros have to be one of the top 10. You have to leave them up there in that top tier.
They're number 3 right now, I believe, in the power rankings.
But they're losing to a tag team that's not always a tag team, and I get the
6 and
Brotherhood
7
thing. It's like
in AEW, 6 and 7.
Bro, they won that badass ladder match at All Out.
Oh, that was so good with the Young Bucks, right?
Yes.
Oh, and now, no offense to Cody and Dustin, because it's great talents. The Brotherhood, they got Arn Anderson there now. What do you think about Arn being the head coach?
Cool.
Something.
Right. Yeah. It doesn't have that appeal to me that it would for some. But
because there's a deeper history and connection between the two and the families. That's why they did that. But it doesn't seem like Cody needs that.
Nope.
Cody's a star on his own. There's a reason he was nominated for Wrestler of the Year. So the Brotherhood goes over, though, in this one, which I'm like, all right, Cody's feuding with MJF, but is this win with Dustin going to put him in the tag team title picture?
Right.
Like, Cody's just everywhere right now.
Can't win the world title.
You can't. That's true. So might as well just give him everything else.
Yeah.
After that match, though, MJF would have his promo, and it was very quickly interrupted by DDP. I like DDP as a just like a Hall of Famer in wrestling. Like he paid his dues. He was good. He was a champion.
Yeah.
Why is he being involved in this story?
It's not DDP yoga anymore, man.
DDPY.
Remember it. Write it down.
Yeah, he did the plugs. Like he acted like a Sammy Guevara would if he was out there plugging social media. I think the best part of it was literally MJF sitting in the corner on his phone. He tweeted in the middle of that.
Yeah.
He's like, when will this old man shut up or something like that? I just don't get why this promo is happening right after Cody just had a match and you're not involving Cody in it in any
whatsoever.
way.
Right.
Like, Cody was just out there, MJF.
They probably crossed each other's paths on the way to the ring, in and out.
Cody never comes out. He barely even brings up Cody. And
right.
It's kind of just him bashing DDP. And then we get the Butcher and the Blade and the Bunny. They count. I get it somewhat because we got to keep prolonging the MJF thing. But why can't we just give MJF a match?
Where is it?
When's the last time MJF had a match? Was it the last pay-per-view?
I don't know. Did he fight at the last pay-per-view?
Yeah, for the last match is when he got
the ring. Okay, yeah.
Hangman, right? Isn't that who he beat?
That was over a month ago, dude.
Jesus Christ. I think that's the last time that he actually wrestled. So, no disrespect to MJF, because
I like him.
We both do. I mean, he's entertaining, but segment, it's a miss for me, dog.
Not the best.
Yeah. Well, you can't hit them all, I guess, MJF.
That's true.
And once again, I think it was because of DDP. I'm just going to be that guy.
He didn't help.
No, he did not whatsoever. After that would be the last match of the night. We would have the Best Friends versus the Jurassic Express. Talk to me a little bit about this one.
You know, the thing I like about the Jurassic Express, I know that they're not going to be this top of the card. I think Luchasaurus
could be
is a dog, but like there are always creative and fun spots. It doesn't have to be this like pedal to the metal, knock down, drag out fight for it to be entertaining, and I do like that spin on it.
Yeah, and I think the Best Friends thing, I'm not a fan of them, but obviously a lot of people are. I'm the freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy getting involved. I mean, it's just a really fun match between two of the more entertaining groups you have in AEW. It was a fresh thing to throw onto this show, because some things just weren't connecting at all. Everything kind of just seemed to be going into this. And I'm like, all right, I had fun. Jungle Boy gets his first win in AEW. That's huge. Marco has his moments. Orange Cassidy has his. The crowd pops. Good match. I mean, it's good for the Jurassic Express, though, because they needed that win more than anyone.
No kidding.
And I like the Jurassic Express. And like you kind of said, they're never going to be huge in terms of championships, but I'd like to see them win one eventually.
Sure.
I think it could be a nice little short reign, but yeah. Fun little match there to not really end the show, but because we had the thing we were building towards here, Tucky. It's will John Moxley accept Jericho's offer to join the Inner Circle?
The thing we were building for.
What was Moxley's answer, Tuck?
I accept.
And there was it, right?
Yeah, that's it.
All right, so like 5 minutes go by.
6 minutes till 9 o'clock. There you go.
I'm sitting there in bed. I'm like, all right, he accepted, quote unquote, and we have like 6 minutes left in the show.
At the same point, you got that banger of a 4-man going on too.
That's true.
Between two screens for me, so I'm like, okay.
So they're popping champagne. Jericho like 3 different times says, "Hit the music."
Yeah,
and it's very weird. And then I'm like, okay, if you're gonna keep doing this, we're dragging this out.
Yep.
I wonder what's going to happen next, Tuck.
Yeah.
What happened?
He unaccepted, but kept the keys.
Yeah,
$750,000 car though. Come on.
You think? I don't think it's that expensive.
Bro.
Is that what you're saying?
No.
Yeah, no, but it's a nice car.
I guess.
So Moxley, at the end, of course, he declines the offer to join the Inner Circle after wearing the shirt, popping champagne, hanging out with Jake Hager, Sammy Guevara. Where was Pride and Powerful?
Yeah, right.
Where they just? Oh yeah, they said weren't they like blocking off the street or something? Like that?
I don't know.
Jericho's great. I mean,
he's forward thinking. Like he knows that if he's going to say if there's an absence or a presence, there's got to be a reason for it. And yeah,
even though in this segment though, he even seemed to like be dragging. Like I think maybe their timing as the whole show was off. Maybe they were supposed to go on a little later.
Yeah.
So they had to figure out a way to prolong it. So
right.
Jericho and them, they all improvise and they do their thing. Maybe that's the case.
You could have cut out a minute and a half of it, and it still would have been the same effect.
Honestly, you could have probably cut out 2-3 minutes.
Right.
That's all I'm saying there. So Moxley,
and they ran out of the bubbly. You know what I mean? Like
you could only have so much bubbly.
They only had X amount to spike. You got Jake Hager literally walking around the ring, dumping it out outside of the ring, and then they run out of it. And they're hit the music again.
The best part too, I don't know if you saw the tweet today, but Bleacher Report's wrestling Twitter, they're like, "Who saw this one coming?"
Wow.
If you've seen any professional wrestling show whatsoever, I mean, literally the Festival of Friendship with Jericho and Kevin Owens from a couple years ago, kind of the same thing. Kind of the same thing.
What you want to get it pop? He accepts and goes off.
Has a couple weeks with them.
Builds something, and he's like, "No, dude, I played you the whole time. Now I know the inner workings of the Inner Circle.
Oh,
and I will bury you."
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Why not do that?
Like,
even if it's a couple months,
play friends in a tournament Revolution or something,
or turn them the week before Revolution,
and bang, there's a pop. You know, like
yeah, the whole 5-minute thing of being a part of the Inner Circle.
We just wasted a couple weeks of thought space,
or just not even answer. Like have the Inner Circle in the middle of the ring, waiting for Moxley. Moxley enters the ring, and he just starts beating the shit out of him.
Yeah,
don't even say anything. Have your actions speak for what your words would have said.
Yeah, I did like it when he said a little bit of the bubbly, though. Moxley, and we're going to have a little bit of the bubbly.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to see Moxley this way, though, because you can tell he's having more fun. He's got more creative control. Yeah. And I do think he's going to win that title at Revolution. I really do. Because that's what we're setting up for.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do you think? No?
I'm ready for it.
You got, oh shit, that stink bug scared the living crap out of me.
Bro.
There's something that started crawling right in front of me.
I thought it was on the...
Literally right there. I hate stink bugs. Those things stink.
Literally.
Pun intended. Get away from me thing. All right. We got to close this show off before I freak out. NXT or AEW going into this week, it was 7-5. On the count of 3, Tucky, who is this week's winner?
Got it.
3.
1.
Oh, are we going that way? Do we always go that way?
You do it.
3, 2, 1.
NXT.
All right. The stink fuck.
Why did you think... You texted me earlier thinking that we might have been confused. What about the AEW show did you think I would have been attracted to more than the NXT?
All right, no. So here's the thing is that thing is literally flying everywhere right now and scaring the living shit out of me. I hate bugs. I'm just going to throw that out there right now.
Bask in his glory.
He's just spinning. So I originally was thinking AEW. I really was.
Really?
And then I start to kind of dive into this show a little bit more. And I'm like, okay. There was a lot more stinkers in AEW than NXT. NXT felt like the more complete show. There was a couple good matches on AEW, like the Rhodes versus Lucha Brothers and the opening match with Hangman and Omega and why am I blanking? Private Party. But
It's a private party.
how can I forget that? NXT, it was the better complete show. Come on. Thoughts?
No, I haven't. We agree. It's the same thing. It's like AEW is becoming it's stale-ish.
I don't think stale is
It's
the
like
word.
I don't think stale is either, but like the shine has wore off.
Correct.
You know,
It's not the sexy wrestling company anymore that we
Right.
once thought.
It's a good, solid wrestling company.
Like, we're still watching and we're still enjoying it and getting
we will
entertainment.
continue, and there's great parts every week of it.
Yeah.
So it's not like we're saying NXT is going to start running away from it, but like NXT has reliably been more entertaining to me. Yeah.
I also didn't think NXT was outstanding.
No, it was not. It was the
Mia
not
Yim thing, the Austin Theory, the Forgotten Sons weren't great,
right.
and Gallus versus. I mean, they didn't have great things. It just felt more complete to me. That's all. So, Tucky, you want to take us home?
It's one of those 8-7 wins in a boxing match,
Yeah.
or 9-8 instead of a 10. So
I
something
like that comparison there.
You know?
It was close, but no cigar for
Right.
AEW Dynamite this week. 8-5 NXT, starting to slowly pull away.
Yes, no doubt. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at PotOnTheMark. Share us with your friends. Give us a 5-star review on iTunes. Give us a review.
Give us a retweet.
Something.
a
little
share.
subscription. Yeah.
Maybe you'll get something. Maybe you'll win a On the Mark Wrestling shirt.
Podcast. Yeah. You know, maybe Kyle will give you a Cascade Blonde American Whiskey tea. He's rocking that right now.
Yeah, also a product of mine.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Not sponsored.
alcohol.
We're listening, though.
Shout out
So,
to
at Pot on the Mark, OTSN, Overtime Sports Network, OTSportsNetwork.com, at _OTSN on Twitter, at JimTuck89 on Twitter, at Too Sweet Kyle on Twitter, at
I'm
Twitter
still
on
looking
Twitter.
for this bug.
No, dude, the bug hit you in the head during, no, it's gone now. But I flinched. We were talking, this is like
thing is
12
the
minutes.
worst.
It hit, I did like a flinch, and you didn't even move. And it came like up, like hit up here on your hat. So I thought you were aware of it.
You
And
probably hit and then went back down to the table. I don't like. I'm going to throw this out there. Bugs the worst.
that was a top 5 run in from the stink bug here.
The third member of the On the Mark Wrestling podcast.
Apparently, but thank you for tuning in. We'll catch you next time on the On the Mark Wrestling podcast.
Thanks for listening to the On the Mark podcast.
Brock Lesnar going for an F5 to Cena for the championship. Lesnar with the cover.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode. For more information and updates, make sure to follow us on Twitter at Pod on the Mark. Pod on the Mark.